Welcome to the post-show. Quicksilver and Roxy, Pro France, stop number 3 on our Challenger Series for 2021. Surfers fighting for the dream of Championship Tour qualification, and a beautiful evening in France. Really gorgeous scenes here after a big day of competition and some massive performances going down right down to the end. Our very final heat, Yago Dora showing us the quality, dropping hammers and entertaining this crowd. And Ben Mundy and Pete Mel, what a day we've had. A lot of heats. It's been a lot of quality on show as well. It's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, it really has. A lot to unpick. There's been a lot of waves, basically. I think there's very few sort of properly wave-starved heats. And when you have a day from like 8 o'clock till 7 o'clock in France of action-packed waves, yeah, there's so many sort of highlight performances. It's hard to keep track.
And I would say that France lived up to France. It gave us everything. I mean, we went to the lefts, we went to the rights, we went back to the rights, and then lefts, and double banks, and it gave us everything, which is what we usually anticipate when we come here, is a divisive way that you compete. It's a challenge.
And in terms of our arena down here at Lake Cuneux, we got our main site. We use that. We use the bank to the north. It's great to have that variety and a few options. Like, we need them, and we're using them.
Oh, absolutely. And there's got the left-hand bank and the right-hand bank, and at various stages of the tide all over the course of the day, we were switching between the two. And they ran through. We didn't stop for a break. The high tide was huge. We ran through the high tide. The sun obviously gets there. We've got options, and they're all really close. So we're actually really lucky.
Well, let's go down and hear from Yago Dora. He absolutely lit up that final heat of the day, put on a bit of a show. He's standing by for a chat.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. You put on a great show, and what a way to end the day. You got the best combo of the day. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. I was actually preparing to surf the left, but I think the sun was like right on the judge's face, so they couldn't see anything. But this wave kind of started to get fun, and I was just like with my mind open and ready to do whatever the wave asked me to, and I just went with like free surfing kind of, and I had fun.
Definitely looking for that those air sections, right?
Yeah, for sure. I saw the waves, like some of those waves that were like opening up nicely. Sometimes they're not that steep, so I was picking up the fastest ones that were giving me a ramp, so I knew I was going to get a good score on those.
And it's always a lot of fun to watch you. Thank you very much, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.
Awesome stuff from Yago Dora. Putting on a show there, Pete. You mentioned it, as we called that one of the outstanding surfers, and he could be really dangerous here in France.
Yeah, if he can keep it up, it's always hard to sustain when you have good heats like that, to keep it going over and over. But generally, if you can, pick up that momentum, that's what you would say. We'll see him on finals day.
And let's think about a big day competition, a big swing as well. We started off pretty small this morning in terms of conditions, but Ben, just looking about performances and what we've seen go down today, how are you rating the performances from our Challenger Series athletes?
Oh, it's been amazing. As we just saw Yago said, everyone kept their mind open, and everyone, they waited for their time to shine, and he had half an hour, depending on what time it was. And when they stepped up, and there's some incredible performance from Joanne Giroux on the shore. We might see Callum Robson later on. There's just so many, the women charge, Sophie McCulloch, just so many great performances, and it's kind of hard to collate them all, to be honest.
Well, we're typically more used to like tubes in the shore break at this time of year, this competition in France, but today to get the big scores, we did see some big scores. It was all about the manoeuvres, and let's think about our Roxy ride of the day, and we saw big numbers throughout the day. We're going to have a look at a wave of Sophie McCulloch, who absolutely tore it apart for a massive number. And she looked great down here.
Well, it'll look like a totally different day, I think, because it was early morning, low tide heats. It was very early. And we saw that low tide was right around, 10 this morning, right? 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it was, the swell hadn't really showed up yet. But Sophie was able to find that beautiful wave and get the score that needed. And it was on this right that she did it. Nice and clean, and it was about maneuvers and basically putting them together, connecting them nicely, getting the fin release, and that was nicely done from the right-hand bank. And we'll see the men's ride of the day. It's going to be on the left-hand bank.
So the women this morning, challenging conditions for them, but they brought the heat themselves. They had to up the energy, and that's what we saw from the women. Meanwhile, we got in our sort of time machine and teleported to like another spot, right? Where are we now? And this was really impressive. Callum Robson, massive number, 917.
Yeah, the swell just came in, and Callum Robson, I think Pete was calling this one, it's like the hammer blows, sledgehammers to the lips. only 2 turns, but he just absolutely destroyed that left. And a day of many moods, but that I think was probably the most aggressive turns we've seen all day.
We also saw Sebastian Zietz before that wave actually put 2 turns together for an 8.1, and that was in the kind of the similar set. And so it's kind of like, okay, here's the 8.1. Oh, well, here's a 9, and it was pretty clear. There was a substantial difference. They were both excellent rides, but Callum's backhand just, it was massive.
Thinking about waves we had today, staying pretty true to the forecast, pretty much nailing it in terms of what we were expecting. Tomorrow, we're expecting a little bit more wind, a little bit more texture, but still highly contestable conditions. Swell should still be there for us. We're thinking around about that head-high overhead range.
Yeah, I mean, talking to the people that know, which is not me, obviously, but yeah, we've got some south wind, but we've got swell, and we've got a little bit bigger, or what we're at now. Not enough to just, to tear it apart. So we're looking like a big action-packed day of heats. They want to run a lot of heats, and yeah, bring it on, I say. Bring it on.
If they're going to we're going to most likely do double banks again and set it up. It's going to have the wind blowing into the rights, and the wind at your back's on the left. Again, there are going to be 2 different types of waves. So I guess if you don't really know which bank you're going to surf either, I think that, they're going to do odds and evens again. We don't know. It's open, so you got to be here early and figure it out.
It's always offshore in the booth, though, isn't it?
It is.
Well, speaking of being here early to figure it out, we're going to come back tomorrow morning for calls for Roxy and Quicksilver Pro France. It's an 8:15 call for an 8:45 start. We're hopeful we'll still get some swell on this bank. It's provided for us all day today. WorldSurfLeague.com. Join us tomorrow morning for more live action. We're going to send you out some highlights from a great day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.